It was upset night in the NBA. Dillon Brooks did what? The Denver Nuggets lost to who? The Wizards won? It's a crazy one. We're going to cover it all right now on Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Welcome back to the Locked On NBA Game Night podcast. Very happy to have you here. Show is free, available everywhere. This is an exciting night because I've never podcasted with Camille, but Camille Davis from Locked On Bucks. Happy to be here with you. How are you doing tonight?
I've had better nights between the Bucks and my technology. We got a lot to discuss, John. So, we gonna try to figure this out.
Listen, this is if any time there was a night for things to kind of go wrong and people try to adjust, this is the night where this is just going to follow the lead of the NBA. We're going to go to the Clippers and OKC, doing OKC a favor, I should say. Pistons winning a nail biter. Jazz getting revenge. We'll talk about your Bucks in the second segment. Sorry. We're going to start with the LA Lakers. Today's show by the way, is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your first bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com today to get started. I should introduce myself, by the way. I'm John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast. So excited to podcast with you. I didn't even tell people who I am. All right, we going out to the Suns and Lakers. The Suns lost Devin Booker to a groin injury, but it didn't matter. Dillon Brooks, 33 points at one point, making 10 shots in a row, 125-108 winners over the LA Lakers. It took LeBron a very long time to get to his 10 points. They left him in as the blowout was continuing to get him to the 10 points. Disappointing loss for the Lakers. I don't know. What's your takeaway from this?
Yeah, really disappointing from the Lakers, but also I'm continuously surprised by how well the Suns have been playing so far this season. When Devin Booker went out in this game, I thought that was going to be the it on this particular game, but no, here comes Dillon Brooks. Here comes Colin Gillespie. Like, they are getting contributions up and down the roster right now from some guys I did not expect.
I've seen the Dillon Brooks thing before. It's funny because there was a game in Boston where the Celtics were like, you know what? You can get all the three-pointers you want. And he was hitting all of them. He was doing that same jumping up and down, bouncing around. Every once in a while, Dillon just has a game like this, and there's nothing you can do about it. 15 of 26 from the field. They also got 11 assists out of Royce O'Neal, probably because Dillon Brooks was hitting all of the shots. Meanwhile, outside of Luka Doncic, not much. Luka, of course, 38 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. But like I said, LeBron gave them nothing. You get literally 0 points from Rui Hachimura. You get 16 from Austin Reeves. You need more from him on that. You get nothing out of the bench outside of Dalton Connect. The Lakers, this is, I did this show a week ago, and I had questions about, like, is their defense going to be good enough? And if they're not outscoring teams, I do think they're vulnerable. So they're up there at the second seed. Look, they're 15-5. They've been doing what they're supposed to do. But if LeBron's going to look like this, and we're going to start checking in to see if he's hitting his double digits, like, we can't be doing double digit watch with LeBron this year. He's got to be up around 20-something points a game to give the Lakers a chance. I do wonder how this West is going to shake out. And from the Phoenix side, how much longer they're going to be able to hang in that playoff mix.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see how long this injury is going to keep Devin Booker out as well, the groin injury that he sustained. But on the Lakers side, one thing that was interesting to me, I think it was before this game or maybe the last one, where JJ Redick was asked about Jared Vanderbilt. And he mentioned like, hey, I'm running just a 9-man rotation. Right now, Jarrett's on the outside looking in. And then tonight's game against Phoenix, he was the only guy that was available that got a did not play coach's decision in this game. And it feels like when you're searching for something in a game like this one where it was out of your control, it felt like when they had that big run in the second quarter from the Suns, where it was like, why not try someone else, especially when you're getting carved up by, oh, Dillon Brooks? Like, let's see what else we can do here. I was surprised he didn't pull that lever in his game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes when coaches, there's something behind that, right? Like you don't just make that decision. And knowing JJ Redick, there's something there that Jared Vanderbilt either did or didn't do, isn't grasping something that he's just going to stand his ground on that. And whatever that is, they got to figure it out. Because again, like you said, they need everybody. Let's move on to the Dallas Mavericks, who beat the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have lost 4 straight games at home. That's not supposed to happen. Let's get the winner's take. Nick Angstead of Locked On Mavs giving us his take on this game.
The Dallas Mavericks just unlocked their offense that has been absolutely awful all season long. Mavs get a win against the Nuggets, and this one was just a confounding game for the Dallas Mavericks in a good way. Starting with Ryan Nembhard, the undrafted two-way rookie from the Dallas Mavericks, 28 points, 10 assists, 0 turnovers in the game on 14 shots. Just an incredible game where he had everything going. He hit threes. He hit his mid-range shot was going well. Didn't take a single free throw. Just like an efficient pick and roll, running with Anthony Davis, running with Cooper Flag, getting things going, making the Mavericks offense work. The Mavs have been looking for a guard all season, trying to figure out who it was. Kyrie's still out. Exum's going to be out for the whole season. D'Angelo Russell was tried early. That hasn't really worked. Brandon Williams has been up and down. And they tried Cooper Flag at point guard, and they just haven't found anything. But Ryan Nembhard, what a game for him. He solidified his spot in the rotation with this one for sure. Oh yeah, and then the Mavs' other rookie, 24 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, a couple of blocks, and a steal as well. Cooper Flag played really well in this one and was incredible on the defensive end. It made some really, really big plays and made some clutch buckets as well. Jason Kidd had to stop the game and say, hey, Cooper Flag, go out there, get your buckets. You can go right to the rim against Jokić and this defense, and he went out there, and that's what he did. But it would be a disservice to not tell you that Anthony Davis was pretty awesome on offense in this game. 32 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists as well. He had a couple of blocks, including one of them late, that was massive. He was really big for the Dallas Mavericks in this game, and he looks pretty good. He did have a hand injury during this game where he got his finger kind of caught on the rim between the ball and the rim on an alley-oop attempt from Najee. He did come back into the game, so he seems fine there, but man, he looked great in this one. Nico
Harrison was right. No. Look, let's start on the Dallas side. The Nembhard thing is a huge development because Cooper Flag at point guard, I was afraid that they're going to ruin this kid. He's too good to be ruined. But you don't want to play a guy that important out of position for too long. And now he's back into his normal forward role. And here he is starting to figure things out. I think he was always going to figure things out, but I don't know that Dallas is going to be any good, but encouraging to see things kind of snap into place.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas, for all of the offensive flaws that they've had so far this season, has been a pretty good defensive team. So to have a night like tonight where the offense is finally moving, it's kind of like, well, what could the ceiling for the Mavericks be? Now, I'm not willing to jump out any windows or anything like that, but isn't it crazy how much things change when you have a point guard on the floor with your team that can just kind of help set you up? Because to your point about Cooper Flag, like it was shaky starting off, but recently he became the youngest player to ever record 10 or more assists in the game. And then the very next game out, he became the youngest player to score 35 points in the game. He was like 5 days younger than LeBron was when he did it. So like Cooper is starting to get it, but now to have a point guard next to him, I think the most impressive thing about Ryan Nembhard in this game is the fact that he did not turn the ball over, not one time. 10 assists, 0 turnovers, 4 or 5 from 3. Like, he was giving the Mavericks everything they've been searching for from that point guard position so far this season.
From the Nuggets side, already shorthanded, then you lose Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 20 rebounds, 13 assists. A tough one to lose, but you're already missing a bunch of players. Not really going to say much about the Nuggets other than I'm not worried about them necessarily. We know how good they are. This is a tough one when you're already shorthanded. You lose Murray, and you're relying on Jokic to do everything, and he almost gets you there. So, but they lost that fourth quarter 29-17. Big run by the Mavericks at the end. All right, let's get to the final game of this segment. It is the Indiana Pacers losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers, a bounce back game for the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell bounces back after a bad night against the Celtics with 43 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Let's go to various locations in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, starting with Danny Cunningham of Locked On Cavs.
Danny Cunningham here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse after the Cavs beat the Indiana Pacers 135-119, and the Cavs were frustrated after last night's game against the Boston Celtics, and I think the Cavs are still a little bit frustrated, but this was a game that I would term as a step in the right direction because the Cavs have not necessarily been the most consistent team this year. I think at times their energy level has not been where it needs to be. Their focus level has not been where it needs to be. And on Monday night against Indiana, I think both of those things were up to par, and that's why this is a step in the right direction. Donovan Mitchell was fantastic. He's been fantastic all year. He had 43 points. He had 9 rebounds. He had 6 assists. It was a superstar performance from him, but Jalen Tyson had a great game after he had what I thought were some very hard truths that needed to be told on Sunday night about the state of this team. He comes out, he has one of the best games, maybe the best game of his career. 27 points, 11 rebounds, was awesome. The Cavs really couldn't take him off the floor in this game, and it's a win over a Pacers team that is obviously not who they were last year. That is not great, but for the Cavs, it's more about how they look. And on Monday night, I thought the Cavs looked much better. It's a step in the right direction. They need to continue on this path, and next they take on the Portland Trailblazers at home on Wednesday night, and I will talk to you after that game.
And now let's go to the other end of the building. Tony East, Locked On Pacers.
Riding the escalator up and out of Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where the Pacers winning streak-ish ends at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tony East here with Locked On Pacers. 132-119. The final, I might be off by a few points there. Pacers lost, and they started the game horrible. They got 32 points in the first 10 minutes. They fell behind by 16 quickly and never really have even made up that deficit. Their defense came in waves today. It was good at times and really poor. Other times, the rebounding never really came today. 28 second chance points for the Cavs, the most for a Pacers opponent this season. And that together just made it impossible for the Pacers to mount any sort of serious comeback. The other big factor in that, Donovan Mitchell, with 43 points of his own. He was terrific scoring. Pacers couldn't stop him. Not many can actually stop him, but he was terrific. And the Pacers fall again. They're now 4-17, a tough one. Defense and rebounding are some of the most painful ways to lose, but they did. They have.
And that's that. All right, so that's that. Let's come back. We'll talk about the Bucks losing to the Wizards. I'm sorry, Camille. We have to do this. Take a break, compose your thoughts, dry your tears. We're going to do that when we come back. Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. Just like the Patriots. I'm a Patriots guy. They get 2 big turnovers early against the Giants. That's a big momentum swing, and you can place bets as that kind of action unfolds. Every drive, every swing, every highlight moment. They got live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. And you can bet on things like the next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. So if you want to be there in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. They will ask you when you log in to set a limit, set a budget. Please do that. Gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Just in case things go cold on you, you can come back and feel okay about it. So sign up at FanDuel.com right now. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. All right, thanks for making Locked On NBA Game night, your first listen. Locked on NBA in the afternoons has you covered on all the big stories. And it's all on the number one sports podcast network in the world. Thank you all, you everydayers, people who are with us every Monday through Friday or on the weekends, listening to all of our podcasts. We have Locked On, obviously Locked On Celtics, Locked On Bucks, and Locked On for every NBA team, every NFL team, MLB, whatever you want. We got it here. Let's move on to the Washington Wizards 129-126 winners over the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis played, but they lost. Camille, what?
I know, John. I know. It's here's the problem with it. It's the exact same things that hurt the Bucks and all of their losses showed up again in this game. I feel like a broken record at this point. Turnovers, poor rebounding, second chance points, poor point of attack defense. It wasn't even the free throws tonight, which normally is a problem for the Bucks, but in this game it was not. The Bucks had 17 turnovers in this game that led to 17 points for the Wizards. The crazy thing is that the Wizards only had 10 turnovers, but it led to 18 Bucks points. So even the turnovers are like, okay, well, that is what it is, but it gave the Wizards extra possessions. So did the second chance point. The Wizards, without Alex Sarr at that, out-rebounded the Bucks 42-35. They had 15 offensive rebounds, and they scored 20 second chance points, with 9 of those coming in the fourth quarter. It felt like a game, to be honest, where the Bucks got out there and said, it's the Wizards. We can win. We can do whatever we want. And then they got smacked in the mouth.
Which is unfortunate. They allowed the Wizards to take 102 shots. 102 shots. I mean, we're talking about these games mostly have 100 possessions, and the Wizards took 102 field goal attempts. That's one of those things where if you're allowing that many shots, you're almost always going to lose, because if a team shoots even okay, then you are in deep trouble. The Bucks had 20, they made 21 3-pointers. How do you make 21? They were 55%. They shot 55% overall, 55% from three. They made 21 3-pointers and still lost this. This is a tough one. Let's get the Wizards perspective from Ben Strober.
Washington Wizards get the win tonight at home, win number 3, 129-126 over the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm Ben Strober with the Locked On Wizards podcast. The Wizards trailed by as much as 16 in this game before a run in the third and fourth quarter, sparked by the bench. Believe it or not, everyone who came off the bench for the Wizards today ended up a positive in the plus-minus differential, and big-time moments from Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum. Those veterans came up massive for the Wizards en route to their third win of the season. Giannis Antetokounmpo had a rough time offensively tonight because of Bilal Koulibaly. He's been that defensive savant for this Wizards team, and he came up in a massive way, a couple of stocks for him, and he just made Giannis frustrated on numerous occasions in this game. A good feeling to see this young Wizards team finally respond on the right side of a comeback for the first time this season, and they get the dub here at home at Capital One Arena.
A good feeling for you, Ben. A good feeling for you.
The third win of the season for the Wizards, who get to feel good but still be at the bottom of the standings. All right, let's move on. Another upset. Yet another upset. Jazz 133-125 winners over the Rockets. Last night's show, they were talking about the Rockets smacking the Jazz. They turn around and get 7 Jazz in double figures to upset the Rockets. Let's go to David Locke, the guy who started it all here, for his take on the Jazz win.
So in a span of 30 hours in which the Utah Jazz got absolutely blasted by the Houston Rockets yesterday, they came back and beat the Houston Rockets tonight. The Jazz led this game by as many as 21 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. The Rockets rallied back to make it a game late. The Jazz held off the Houston Rockets. And Keontae George, who had 0 points and 8 assists in what was arguably one of the worst games by an NBA player, statistically bounced back with 29 points tonight for the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen, who couldn't get shots off the night before, bounced back again tonight. And the Jazz out-rebounded the Houston Rockets, which is only the second time the Houston Rockets have been out-rebounded all season long. The Jazz played with electrifying pace, got great performances from rookie Walt Clayton in the second quarter and Ace Bailey throughout the ballgame. Kyle Filipowski stepped up defensively, an all-around superb effort from the Utah Jazz, who now head out on a 2-game New York road trip, but a really stunning 30-hour differential. Jazz with one of their least good nights of the year, in which the players after the game said, "We forgot the plot." Followed the plot tonight, shooting after Shepard and Şengün as many times they could on the offensive end, exposing the Rockets defensively and having a massive offensive night, winning at 133-125.
So the Rockets struggle there. Getting out rebounded, the Rockets getting out rebounded is just unfathomable. I just don't understand how that happens. And rebounding is an effort thing. I feel like this is the night, like you said, with the Bucks. I think everybody just kind of came in. All these good teams kind of came in tonight, especially the Rockets, because they had such an easy night the night before against the Jazz. They're like, we got this, like no problem. And they ended up those effort things. They're normally a big offensive rebounding team. They had 16, but they couldn't keep the Jazz off the boards, and that's the game.
Yeah, it really is. Like, this is one of those games, as you mentioned, where it felt again like the Rockets felt like they could win without putting in the effort that they need. And here they are getting beat at their own game pretty much, because the Rockets offense is powered so much by their offensive rebounds, by their second chance points. And then you add a Kevin Durant to the team this year, and he got off to kind of like a little bit of a slower start. He really heated up in the fourth quarter, but by that point, it was just too late. It was too late for him in this one. And the defense from the Jazz in this one, even though they gave up 125 in this one, it was enough. And that's been an area for them, especially without Walker Kessler, where they've been struggling. So to see them be able to get a win, get to the free throw line a lot. I mean, both teams got to the free throw line a lot. This was like a free throw marathon.
Numbers are insane. 33 of 41, 33 of 41 for the Rockets, 29 of 38 for the Jazz.
That's too many free throws in one game for any for any team. Like that's too many. But nonetheless, the Jazz found a way to win, and a big shout out again to Keontae George, who has been showing this year. He's taken that third year leap, and he put together a big game after putting up a stinker in the one before.
Let's wrap up this segment here with the Nets and the Hornets. Not much to say about this game. Does anybody? I don't think Brooklyn or Charlotte cares about this game, but the Nets got the win 116-103. They hit 5 more 3-pointers. They were +9 in fast break points. Michael Porter Jr., 35.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 13 of 24 shooting. He was 7 of 11 from 3. LaMelo Ball, stinker, 12 points, 14 assists, but just 3 of 9. Taking 9 shots is either not shooting at all or taking too many shots. Concanipple, 19.7 of 18. Overall, 4 of 9 from 3, continuing his very impressive rookie season. We will come back. Pistons, nail-biter over the Hawks. Orlando, a big win, big game from Desmond Bane. And the Clippers doing the OKC Thunder a favor. We're going to wrap up game night when we come back. Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by Prize Picks. Holiday season is one of the best times for sports. You got bowl games, big basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening all at the same time. And while we're making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is Prize Picks. It's the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. You pick more or less on just 2 player projections. Lock in your lineup, and you're in the game. Very simple. It's fast. It's available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. They have an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule. Create a lineup on Prize Picks. Just takes less than a minute. The app makes it a whole thing smooth and intuitive. The early payout feature is a great bonus. When your lineup starts strong, you can get the option to cash out early. And there's a new stacks feature that lets you choose the same player up to 3 times, so you can bet more on a quarterback's passing yards, touchdowns, and rushing yards. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Thanks for making Locked On NBA Game Night your first listen. We got podcasts for all of these NBA teams. Locked On. There we go. There's Camille. We got Locked On. Everybody that just played. So if you want to get the deeper look at all of these games, check out the Locked On podcast for all of these teams, including Pistons and Hawks. The Pistons bounced back. They had a couple of tough losses, and a couple of tight wins. 99-98 winners over the Hawks. Cade Cunningham had only 18, but 8 of those came in the last 3.5 minutes as Detroit rallied for the win. Pistons hit a little bit of a skid, but back on track. The Hawks have been playing okay, so this, I think, is a quality win.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that one. And the Pistons here in this particular game, when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is the kind of game that I expected, where it was two defenses really putting the brakes on one another. Like when you get a game where neither team hits 100, it felt like it was a struggle even getting to the high 90s with these two teams. So it was a fun game to watch. On the Detroit side, continuing to see Dennis Jenkins like contribute. Like he didn't have the best shooting night tonight at all, but seeing him in the lineup consistently is like, man, they are finding guys to try to complement what Cade has going on, the jump that we're seeing from Jalen Duren here. So Detroit's a good team right now.
Oh, we lost Camille there for a second. All right. There you go. You're back.
All right. Did you hear any of my Detroit spiel?
We had some of it. We got the Dennis Jenkins, and then you came back and you were wrapping up something about Jalen Duren. But that's okay.
I was saying, listen, the Pistons are good. That's what it comes down to. They're good. They're finding contributors all around on that roster.
I think the Pistons, one of their struggles this year is they're almost, I don't want to say too good, but they're getting a lot from a lot of people. They've gone through injuries, and it was great to see them get these performances like Jenkins stepping up when guys were hurt. But I think now there's been a little bit of a struggle of, okay, how do I play these guys? And how do I make sure that the guys who have contributed continue to get minutes and be rewarded? So I think the Pistons at 17-4 are still very much figuring things out, which is impressive. The Hawks 13-9, they didn't have they were shorthanded again. Kristaps Porzingis out again. I know that game. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker was huge. Jalen Johnson 29 points. They had an opportunity to win this with a tip in at the buzzer. They didn't do it. I always joke around. I mean, I'm not even really joking. When Trae Young is out, the Hawks find a way to come together and win. Their challenge is going to be when Trae comes back, getting these guys the same looks, the same opportunity. As great a passer as Trae is, he's still so ball dominant that it does throw things off. So the Hawks, I'm happy to see them performing well without him. They need to perform well with him, or else there's going to be a lot of decisions to be made over in Atlanta. Yeah,
very true. And really quick, I want to shout out just Jalen Johnson and what he's been doing this season. Another good game from him. And over the last 3 games here for him, 33 points, 13 rebounds, 8.7 assists, 50% from the field, while averaging a little over 40 minutes a game. Like, he has really been picking up that slack with Trae Young out. And like you mentioned, it'll be interesting to see how they all come back together once he's healthy.
Orlando, 125-120 winners over the Chicago Bulls. Desmond Bane goes off for 37. He had a big fourth quarter. Let's go to Philip Rossman-Reich from Locked On Magic for more.
This is Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic here at the Kia Center as the Orlando Magic defeat the Chicago Bulls 125-120 behind a heroic effort from Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane scores 18 of his 37 points in the fourth quarter, simply willing the Magic to a victory against a very game Chicago Bulls team that was getting out and running and really bothering this Magic defense. But with Orlando down by 15, struggling to make shots, Orlando came through in the fourth quarter. They made 4 3-pointers, 4 of their 9 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, making big shots when they had to and getting the big plays from their big players, whether it was Franz Wagner, whether it was Anthony Black, whether it was Desmond Bane, and then finally Jalen Suggs and Wendell Carter joining the show, the Magic got the plays that they needed to get the victory and get the win. At the end of the day, all they care about is whether you scored more than the other team. Orlando certainly did that. Plenty to clean up, plenty to get better at, certainly better shooting, but this is why you bring in a guy like Desmond Bane to kind of will your team when you need it. He made the shots, and the Magic got a big win over the Chicago Bulls.
And they get this win without Paolo Banchero. I'm talking about all of the Hawks stuff. The Magic without Paolo are going to have to figure some things out. And I think Paolo's going to have to look at what they're doing and say, okay, I have to fit more into this than do what I've been doing.
Yeah, and over the last couple of games, Desmond Bane has been a real catalyst to the success. Like, part of the struggles here was just like the shooting still, which has been a problem with Orlando for the last few seasons, which is part of why you bring in a Desmond Bane. So to see Bane be able to go off for 37 in back-to-back games, like, that's someone who you're going to have to make sure is still in the offensive focal point, even when Paolo comes back.
Brian Scalabrine is always saying that he thinks the Magic are going to be the best team in the East when this is all said and done. They're 13-8. They're 4 games out of first. The Pistons are obviously dominating right now in the East. I wonder if now it's going to be up to Paolo. It's going to be up to him. If he comes back and slows things down, then Scal will be wrong. But if he comes in and plays a little bit more to how the Magic are playing, then Scal will have a point. And instead of the Cavs and Knicks at the top, we might finish this year with Pistons and Magic at the top, where I thought they'd be like 3-4. We might be flipping that. So it's going to be an interesting to watch. From the Chicago side, 4 losses in a row for the Bulls, water finding its level a little bit in Chicago. Let's wrap it up here with the Miami Heat 140-123 win over the Clippers. Norm Powell, 30 points against his former team. Let's start it off with Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat.
Well, the Miami Heat showed a new way to win basketball games with their 140-123 win over the LA Clippers. I'm Wes Goldberg from Locked On Heat. The Miami Heat are not a high-volume three-point shooting team, but against the Clippers, they showed that if you give them to them, they will take them, and they will make them. The Heat made a season-high 24 three-pointers in this game, mostly in an eruption of a second quarter. They pull away in the third quarter. Clippers fight back there in the fourth quarter, but ultimately the Heat, it was too much for them, and the Clippers could never really cut the deficit to something manageable. Just a tremendous win for the Miami Heat. Another offensive eruption, but this is a team that has done most of its work on offense in the paint, at the rim, getting downhill in transition. Not a high-volume three-point shooting team, except in this game, the Clippers were playing drop against most of their shooters. Every time Ivica Zubac was in isolation against anybody coming down the court on Miami, that player was just free to pull up from 3 and let it fly. And like I said, they made a bunch of them in this game. They're not always going to make that many of them, but this bodes well for a Heat team that needs to still find new ways to take advantage of this new offense and to catch other teams by surprise. And if they're going to start making threes like this, who knows how much better this Heat offense can be.
To his points, 24 made three-pointers for the Heat to 9 for the Clippers. You're not going to win any games like that. That's why the Heat led by 38 at one point. Let's get the Clippers side of this.
Look what the Clippers have done to me. Look at my hair, man. I'm a mess. It's just like the Clippers, a mess. 140-123 is the final score out of Miami tonight. The Clippers, after going 2-5 on a 7-game road trip, returned home to play against the John Morant-less and everyone-less Dallas Mavericks and still couldn't win those games. So now this 5-game road trip puts everyone in the hot seat. Ty Lue, Steve Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, and they come out and every single bad tendency they've had all season showed. Cannot stop teams from getting hot from 3. Transition defense is awful. If James Harden doesn't have a good game, they don't win. And James Harden had the worst game maybe he's had all season. Ty Lue took out all the starters with 10 minutes left in the third quarter and put some of them back in the game. The only one he did not put back in the game was James Harden. Kawhi Leonard's starting to play better, but it didn't matter as the Clippers dropped to 5-16 and are the biggest disappointment in basketball.
Well, not much more to say about that other than OKC. The Clippers gave OKC the league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Yep.
And they might give the Clippers a top 3, maybe the top overall pick, because the Thunder own the Clippers pick this season. So, ouch. What a depressing way to end a podcast. But it's been a fun one, Camille. Thank you so much for composing yourself after a disappointing Bucks loss. Appreciate that. Go listen to Lockdown Bucks for the full take on that. I'm hosting Lockdown Celtics. We'll see the Celtics Knicks on Tuesday night. So who knows what I'll be talking about, but thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you being here. Now head to the YouTube page, get into the comment section, share your thoughts, and share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On NBA Game Night podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.